Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report. And coming up on today's show, I got 5 trades the Raiders could make in round 1 of the 2024 NFL Draft. I feel like a lot of times we talk about trading up, we talk about trading back. I also got some trades that the Silver and Black could do getting back in to round 1. Bottom line, we're going to be looking for a quarterback. I anticipate that we're going to be aggressive, and with that, I need Antonio Pierce and Tom Telesco to show up on draft night. I also need y'all to show up on draft night. If you want Raiders draft videos leading up to the big day, we're like 3 weeks away. Hit that subscribe button. If you want to join Jeremy Chugs and I on our draft coverage, we're going to be live for every single pick, every single round. We're going to get the picks before you see them on TV. Tons and tons of giveaways on top of that. I don't want you to miss it, so hit that subscribe button. All right, here we go. These are the 5 trades that I've kind of thrown together, and some of you have probably already seen before into some regard. I'm also going to say, though, why it makes sense for the Raiders and why it makes sense for the opposing team. Raiders trading up to number 3 with the New England Patriots. And I know that if the Raiders make a trade, we should say this right off the jump, it is either going to be for Jayden Daniels, going up and getting him, or you're going to make a trade to stockpile some picks, and at some point, you will then trade back up to go get your franchise quarterback. So why the New England Patriots trade back and why the Raiders would trade up? I mean, the Raiders would trade up for Jayden Daniels. Like, that's your answer here. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. There has been reports that New England is open to trading back. Jerod Mayo last week said, honestly, the guaranteed way to win is to accumulate more picks. I also think that this could be a determining factor if New England wants to trade back, because what if the quarterback is there that they don't love? I mean, one of the things that Mayo said was like, if our guy's not there, we have to be open to the idea of moving back. And I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that Caleb Williams is the number 1 quarterback drafted. Then number 2 off the board is either Drake May or J.J. McCarthy. And then what happens if New England was all in on Drake May and the Commanders take him, right? I'll say that I know there's been a lot of hype, a lot of speculation out there, but to me, if there's a possibility that the Raiders trade up, they're obviously going to at least try to do it. So my trade idea here is this. And if you're Las Vegas, you got to be open to the idea of trading 3 first-round picks if you want to move up to go get your guy at number 3. And if I'm the Patriots here, this helps you stockpile your next 3 years. You're also going to have to throw in pick number 77, so that 3rd-round pick, and then a 3rd-round pick in 2025 on top of that. When you look at the trade value chart, when you think about how much it's going to cost this year in particular, if I was the Raiders, I would be okay giving up 3 firsts, because if it doesn't work out, if you're AP and Telesco, then 2026 isn't really going to matter. But to everybody out there, are you okay with giving up 3 first-round picks for a quarterback like Jayden Daniels? So that's my question here. I want everyone to go out and answer, because if you're on the realm of, no, I'm not giving up 3 first-round picks for Jayden Daniels, then, hey, so be it. Give me a yes. Give me a no. Let me know what you guys are thinking, because for me, I am okay with it. I know that everyone is always going to hit me with, Mitch, what if he's a bust? I don't think he's going to be a bust. And I wouldn't tell anybody to trade 3 first-round picks if there was a chance of a guy being a bust. Don't get me wrong. There's always a little bit of a chance. But I am so confident in Jayden working with Antonio Pierce. I'm so confident in Jayden Daniels working with the Las Vegas Raiders that I don't look at it as, what if he doesn't hit? I look at it as, we're just going to pay a lot to get exactly what we want. And I'm the type of person, I'm okay paying a lot to get exactly what I want. So here are some other trade up to number 3 candidates out there. It has been speculated that the Giants at pick 6 could be a team to watch. The Vikings, to me, are 100% going to trade up, whether it's at pick 3 or at pick 4. They've already made the right moves, and to me, it's either Drake May or J.J. McCarthy for them. The Broncos have been noted that they're going to be aggressive, and then the Raiders at 13, I would say, are your top 4 teams to trade up for a quarterback. Let's go to trade up to number 4 here with the Arizona Cardinals, and it's already been noted that Arizona could potentially be listening to some picks out there. But what I always try to do here is give you guys like different trade ideas compared to some videos that I've put out there before. Why the Cardinals would trade and why the Raiders would make this deal is because the Cardinals general manager has already stated that they are interested in trading back. This happened during the NFL owner meetings, right? And when the NFL owner meetings happened, which was March 24th to the 27th, a lot of conversations start to go. Caleb Williams, Drake May, J.J. McCarthy, if all of those guys are gone, then this is where the Raiders trade up to number 4, because the only way that Jayden is not taken yet is if these 3 quarterbacks are the first 3 picks in this year's draft. And Arizona has been continuously saying that they are trying to stockpile to continue to build for the future. So here's this trade idea, and it's not as high as what I've thrown out there before for the Raiders to trade up to number 4. But let's say it was 2 first-round picks in 2024 and 2025. Then it's a third-round pick, so pick number 77, and then a second-round pick in 2025. The reason why this isn't as much as what I've shown in past trade videos is because of the scenario, because of the fact that those 3 other quarterbacks went off the board already. And I do think that the Raiders are a team that wants Jayden more than Denver. It's already been reported that Minnesota doesn't love Jayden Daniels on top of that. So if he's the guy, I don't think that it's going to cost you as much based on if you were to trade for the number 4 pick right now. I got a few more trade ideas coming up here on today's show, but I got to give some love here to our sponsor, Game Time. Who likes lowest price guaranteed? I know I do. Who likes when they hear prices drop? I know I do. Who likes being able to hang out with friends, family, even by yourself, and going to watching good family sporting events? I do. So to me, I want people to be able to snag tickets without the stress with Game Time, because buying tickets to your favorite events, it shouldn't be stressful. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you, with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their best price guaranteed. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. So terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS. I'll spell it out for you. CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Some of the things that I love about Game Time, and I'll always say, anytime you go to an event, how do you create a memory? And that's the number one thing that I will always try to do. Any event that I try to go to, I want pictures. I want to be able to remember that event for as long as possible, because then it's worth every single penny to me. On top of that, though, I also know that I've been trying to save up for a wedding. I've been trying to save up for a house, and I do look for events under $50, and especially, with, like, a lot of times, like, Alex and I, like, when we, like, go out and do something, she just wants to get out of the house. Like, she works at home. She's always with Chuck, and she's like, I just want to get out of the house. I don't need to spend all this money to go to the Mavs or go to the Stars. Like, we can go to events here in Dallas for under $50, her and I both, just to get out, and it's a good time. And because Game Time lets us get the best deal, like, I always feel like I'm getting an absolute steal. So whether you want to go watch Raiders games next year, whether you want to watch some hockey games, whether you want to go to a concert, theater, all that type of good stuff, all I ask is that you remember Game Time. Come here to the Raiders Report. All you got to do is go down in the links, and all you got to do is go down in the comment section of today's video, or any video that I talk about Game Time. Click on it. Use code CHATSPORTS, $20 off, and I would appreciate it. All right, let's go to the next trade here. Since we're traded up from 3 to 4, what I tried to do is say, okay, which team, in my personal opinion, is the most likely to trade up to pick 13? Because often we always say, oh, the Raiders should trade back. Oh, the Raiders should trade back. Well, it does take 2 to tango, right? So if the Raiders do want to trade back, to me, the team that makes the most sense in them trading up to pick 13 is the Jacksonville Jaguars at 17. And the reason why that I think that is because the way that the year ended last year for the Jags, they were 8-3 at one point and missed the playoffs. And when you think about that type of season happening, that's when teams get a little bit more aggressive. And I think they got a young quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. They would do everything in their power to try to put a lot of talent around him. And I would say that wide receiver and corner, probably some of the biggest needs there for the Jags. Also big needs for the teams above them at pick Saints, Colts. Like, those teams also have very, very similar needs at 14, 15, 16. And if the Raiders did this, like, I would say, okay, like, I get it. You want pick 13. But then there's also a chance that you could still get a Terrion Arnold, a Talisi Fuaga, a J.C. Latham, a Quinion Mitchell. Like, if I told you, would you rather have Talisi Fuaga at 13, or you could get somebody like a J.C. Latham at pick 17, and then on top of that, you're also about to get a second-round pick or something on top. Like, bottom line, I would do it if I could get this trade here. And this is my third trade idea. If the Raiders want to add just a few more picks thrown in here, and this is a fair trade, the Raiders are winning slightly according to the trade value chart. But if you told me I could get 17th overall, a second-round pick, and I'm able to add a fourth-rounder, and all I'm doing is moving back a few spots in the first round, sure, you're giving up pick 77, but, like, I'm going to swap 77 for 48 all day, every day, plus I'm getting an extra fourth-rounder. And a lot of the players that I really like in mock drafts are kind of in that fourth-round area. So if you're able to get that extra pick here and you're still able to get a top offensive tackle or a top corner like Quinion Mitchell, why would you not do that if you're the Las Vegas Raiders? Let's go to some other trade back candidates that I think could be interested in going out and getting that the Raiders could trade back with. I would say it from 13. I think the Colts, Seahawks, Jags, all those teams are kind of interested in similar pieces. The Bengals are an intriguing team to me because as long as a team believes that they are a Super Bowl caliber team, they can get aggressive. Another one would be Eagles at number 22 because to me, Howie is always, and I mean always, willing to roll the dice here a little bit. On top of that, let's look at this. Trade up to number 22. And just like I said, the Eagles could trade up to 13. I also know that because of Howie Roseman, they would be open to trading back on top of that at pick number 22. So if you're the Raiders, you take your offensive lineman at pick 13. Michael Penix Jr. starts to fall down here a little bit. And in this scenario, I am trying to jump ahead of the Vikings who pick at 23 because there is a chance that the Vikings, even though, remember, they traded with Houston, they have pick 11 and they have pick 23. What happens if they're unable to trade up? What happens if they're unable to get their franchise quarterback and they want somebody? Because all they have right now is Sam Darnold. Like, what if they then are targeting a guy like Penix? If I'm the Raiders, you got to hop back up in front of the Vikings. You got to go up to Philadelphia at pick 22 and see if you can get your guy. Now, in terms of what it would cost you, it is going to cost you a pretty penny to go from 44, get all the way back up into the first round at 22. And according to the trade value chart, this is about the price in that. So the Raiders, they'd get pick 22 from Philly. The Eagles would get your 44th, so second round pick, your third round pick, and then it also costs you a second round pick in 2025. What you cannot afford to do if you're the Raiders is give up your first round pick in 2025 if you go this route, because in the event that Penix is a failure, you still want to be able to have that first round pick, right? Like, you still want to have at least a chance to go get your franchise guy the following season. Though, if they drafted Penix trading up fashion, I don't think that they would draft a quarterback the following year. But let's play a game here, because to me, there are two quarterbacks that could get drafted in round one, though I don't know if they do get drafted in round one. Like, I would bet right now 85% chance Penix goes in round one. For Bo Nix, I'd say it's a coin flip. But I also know that there's a lot of controversy between both of these QBs here based on who you talk to. So who's the better quarterback? Like, for me, it's Michael Penix Jr., and it's not close. Though, a lot of people that I talk to that I trust also say that it's Bo Nix. Let me know. Bo Nix, Penix, who's the better QB? Let's go to the final trade here on the show, and it is trade up to 27 with the Arizona Cardinals. And the reason why that I'm doing this is because, just like I said, all these reasons here, if you're Arizona and a team wants to trade up to 27, why would you not offer or entertain that idea yet again? Like, the other opportunity, which I would say if there's a team that I'm willing to bet money on does make a trade in round one, it's Arizona trading back from pick 4. They're going to get something that's going to be too good to be resist, and then they're going to get some extra picks in round one. If that happens, if you're the Cardinals, why would you not try to stockpile even more picks than on top of 27? And if you know that you're not going to be in win-now mode this season and you have all these picks ready to go, keep on building them, and then for the Raiders, you jump up and grab your quarterback. For me, this is this trade idea. You get pick 27, Cardinals get 44 and 77, and then a fifth-round pick at 148 overall. Yeah, you are losing some of these picks here. It's kind of why, if you watched my video on my Michael Penix Jr. plan, like, any trade that the Raiders make here to go up to 22 to 27, that's the Penix-Bo Nix range. And that's kind of why I asked that question here. But if I was making my plan and I were to able to trade away some other players, which, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch my live video from Monday, or you can watch the video that I dropped on Tuesday about my plan for Michael Penix Jr., you need to be able to stockpile some more draft picks in case you do have to make a trade to go up and get your quarterback. Now, I know I threw a lot of trades at you, but out of those trades, which one is your favorite? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5? And remember, trades 1 and 2, this is you going up and getting Jayden Daniels, right? And this trade overall that you see right now, too, is probably cheaper than what it would cost. However, based on the scenario that I painted, I think that would probably be the value. If you're trying to trade back, a team like the Jags is a very intriguing one, especially because you're able to get even more picks to be able to build with Telesco and AP. Trade 4 is you're getting probably, you're going to overpay a little bit just because you have to go up and get your guy. But, hey, if you need your quarterback, you got to go up and get him. And then the final one is with the Arizona Cardinals again. where you were willing to wait a little bit longer. You still want to go up and get your QB, but you don't have to overpay like you did at pick 22. Out of all the trades that I just showed you, realistically, my favorite trade there is going up to number 4, so the second trade idea is my favorite. The other one out of all those scenarios is trading back with the Jags. Like, I am always team trade back. I think you'd be able to get some good value. I think you'd be able to get even more talent at certain positions that you need. But from top to bottom, the Raiders, to me, are going to be aggressive. You know AP wants to be aggressive. You know they want to go get themselves a franchise quarterback. But we talk all the time about trading up. And I don't feel like we talk nearly enough about trading back up in round 1 or potentially trading back, which is why I decided to make this video here on the Raiders Report.